This is the fundamental thing that every human being has to do. Little distance will completely change the way you look at things. Suddenly, the activity of the mind is a great entertainment. Suddenly you find you can use your body and use your mind whichever way you want. It is never going to rule you again.
How can I use hardship as an opportunity to use growth?
How to use hardship as a opportunity. When we say hardship, life can be only physically hard. Mentally hard happens because of you. But physically hard can happen because of terrain, because of situations, because of variety of things. So physical hardship may involve some pain. So physical hardship, people who go through physical hardship always come out stronger, is that so? Always. Your very training is a fact. Probably a training to be a soldier is harder than fighting a battle. Except for the risk involved, in terms of hardship, training looks like purposeless hardship, always. This is true for a soldier, this is true for a yogi. Early in the morning, 4 o'clock, get up and do yoga. Mind will ask, you idiot, why are you up? Everybody is sleeping. Yes, even for the yogi this problem is there. Mind will ask, you idiot, what are you getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and what are you doing? Everybody is sleeping, they wake up and drink coffee at 7 o'clock. What are you doing? But because you put your body voluntarily through that hardship, it gets you to a place where nobody else can get. Isn't it? So hardship is physical hardship is a tremendous possibility because the nature of human body is such that only with use it gets better. If you do it willingly, hardship will be joyful. If you do it unwillingly, it's a most terrible thing. So the question is only of willingness and unwillingness. As I said in the very beginning, that was not to make a joke out of your terrain realities in which you live. What you think is hard duty? If you want to give a punishment, probably in the forces, put him at 20,000 altitude. But people who go mountaineering and other things, climbing to 20,000, they think it's fantastic, isn't it? So what is the difference? The difference is only mindset. Somebody is doing it willingly, somebody thinks they're being forced to do it. That's all the difference is. So this is all life is. Wherever we are, anything we're doing, any given moment of our life, if we do it willingly, it's like heaven. If we do it unwillingly, it's our hell, isn't it? Anything. Just anything. Do you like gulab jamun? No, I'm asking this officer. You like gulab jamun? So right now I'm going to get lot of gulab jamuns and I'm going to put it in your mouth, more and more and more gulab jamuns. That can become the worst experience of your life, isn't it? When you want to eat gulab jamun, you take it in your hands willingly and you ate it, it was so nice. When you don't want it, if somebody forces it down your throat, it's terrible. So the difference is only in willingness and unwillingness. This is the fundamental thing that every human being has to do. See, right now whatever we do, maybe if I had a choice I would do something else, but right now I'm doing this, let's say whatever I'm doing. If you do it willingly, even that thing that you don't like becomes a wonderful process. If you do it unwillingly, then you will see it becomes a terrible process. But I don't like this, why should I do it willingly? Okay, if your choice is to suffer, please do it. If you don't like it, you don't do it tomorrow. But today when you're doing it, you do it willingly. If you do it willingly, even that thing that you think you do not like, even that becomes a great pleasure and becomes a process of growth for you. So definitely physical hardship can be used in a big way to bring balance and well-being to yourself. Psychological hardships are entirely your making. Nobody else is doing that to you. Only you can do that to you, isn't it? To stop that, as I said, this Isha Kriya is something all of you should do because this will give you distance, little distance. Little distance will completely change the way you look at things. It's like this, you see the traffic jam. Traffic is jammed, you're stuck in it. Everybody is cursing each other and getting angry, and in Delhi also they kill each other. Traffic jams, people kill each other, you know. Suppose you're flying in an airplane or a helicopter and look down, traffic jam looks really nice, you know. Have you ever noticed this? It looks quite nice, simply because there's a little distance. The same thing with your body and your mind. If you create a little distance, when I say distance, you must understand this. Your body you gathered, your mind you gathered, it is possible to create a distance. If you create a little distance, suddenly the activity of the mind is a great entertainment. No positive, no negative, nothing, it's a great entertainment, it's only negative, positive when you're stuck in it. Once you're little out of it, suddenly you find you can use your body and use your mind whichever way you want. It is never going to rule you again. So, physical hardship definitely can be harnessed, it can be a great opportunity for a human being to build themselves into a deep level of strength and well-being. Mental hardship is your making, you must stop that.
Semen is of an extraordinary level of potency. It is one of the most potent things if you know how to use it. Can it be transformed into a different level of function? Absolutely. This can be scientifically established.
How important is a man's semen for physical, mental and spiritual well-being? Can wasting our semen damage us spiritually?
Well, semen is the basis of your physical existence, whether you're a man or a woman. You have come into existence because that is 50% of the ingredient. Yes? Well, we have skin, we have epithelial cells, we have hair, we have many other aspects of body, heart, liver, kidney, so many things. All these cells are of a certain potency in their own way. But semen is of an extraordinary level of potency, it can create a whole new life. Well, today you can take an epithelial cell and do a lot of things in a laboratory and maybe we can clone you, all right? So the potential is here also, but it is not in the same dynamics as it is in a cell, which you're referring to as semen. So in the yogic culture, this is called as virya. Virya also refers to what you call as vajra, which means stability, or diamond, which is the hardest thing. So in the human body, virya is considered to be like vajra. That means it is one of the most potent things if you know how to use it. Well, how to use it means you can use it to produce a child. That's one thing. Well, if this question is coming because you are using it to spill it on the JNU bed sheets, okay? If that's how you're using it, well, that's your compulsion, you're doing whatever you're doing. This is not something to be judged morally, that's not the point, it's a question of what is the level of compulsion that one has. But anything in this body, can it be transformed into a different level of function? Absolutely. Not just semen, just everything in this body can be transformed. Say, suppose I give you all soup-making ingredients, same soup-making ingredients to every one of you, do you believe all of you will produce the same soup? No. You will produce 500 varieties of soups, those same ingredients. That's all that's happened with us right now. All of us are fundamentally same ingredients, but see how different each one of us are. Different soup. Well, if I give you soup-making ingredients, either you can make a great soup or a lousy soup. Depends what kind of skills you have, isn't it? So this goes for everything, not just for semen. Every dimension of your body and your mind, you can transform into something tremendous, or you can make it mediocre, or you can make it a serious problem. Every aspect of your life. That goes for this aspect of life also. Saying, people are making it literal translations, but if you want to produce a certain, let's say, epithelial cells, how much energy the body spends on it? And if you want to produce a cell which you call a semen, how much energy body spends is very different. This can be scientifically established. So, when you're investing so much energy in that, obviously it has a potency if you know how to explore. But are you competent to explore? Are you capable of exploring? Do you have the necessary sadhana and guidance to do that? That's a big question mark. There are 100, 200 dreams going on, parallel dreams. So after 2 weeks of dream yantra, everybody absolutely still. It's a fantastic process to take the dream yantra home. We could make it. It'll be a powerful tool. See, this dream yantra, maybe dream machine sounds better. Dream yantra is something that we created when we had people for a 90-day program. This was in United States. So at this time, when I saw that after, lot of sadhana through the day, from morning 5:30 on, it's on. So then I walked into the hall one day in the night and I just saw everybody was sleeping peacefully. I didn't like it. They're supposed to be working upon themselves. The thing is, sleeping peacefully means if you've reached a state within yourself where you're beyond these things, then you must sleep peacefully. You still have a lot of troubles and you're still sleeping peacefully, that's not a good idea because you'll carry your trouble for the rest of your life. Then I said, let's do this. It took a couple of weeks to prepare this, and it took another few weeks to get them engaged with it. And then everybody started having violent dreams, at great speed. Simply, in a night, there are 100, 200 dreams going on, parallel dreams going on. Sadhguru, we were sleeping well all these days now. I said, I am not a tranquilizer. I am here to awaken people, not to put them to sleep. Because you can never genuinely meditate if you don't expend these things. When you sit like this, dreams are going on. You need to expend. There is only a certain amount of data. If you run it at a great pace, then you will see when you sit next time, there's not much data, simply it's there. So after 2 weeks of dream yantra, everybody absolutely still. It's a fantastic process. At that time, I said we will make it and give it to people to take it home. But then, capability comes at one point, wisdom comes a little later. Then I saw that unless we have at least a minimum of 1 week, preferably a fortnight, that they must come and stay here, we must monitor them, that they run through the worst part of the dreams, and before they take it home, they are little more. Not a flood is flowing gently. We must get them to that place before they take it home. Otherwise, if the situation is not conducive, people around you don't understand what's happening with you, then there's no point doing very intense things. So when you and many others are ready for something like that, let's say a fortnight of process to take the dream yantra home, we could make it. It'll be a powerful tool. These are kind of sadhanas which individually we can set forth for anybody even without the dream yantra. But then they must be under our observation and care. Otherwise, it's not necessarily it'll go back. When you drive at high speed, you must be on a road where some stupid cyclist won't take a U-turn. Hello? Yes or no? If that guy takes a U-turn, it's a small thing. You may be driving a car, he's just on a bicycle. But terrible things will happen, both for you and him and for everything. So, if you want to drive at that pace, you must be at least for some time on a clear highway. So, when you're ready for something like that, we can think about.
The whole experience of your life, in a certain way, is a dream. In Anadi, we created a dream machine. So we hasten the dreams 100 times over than normal. We are not touching your prarabdha karma or the allotted karma. We are only going for the warehouse of karma, the sanchita karma. Because the substance that is necessary to find one more womb has been taken away. But this body is perfectly fine. That means we've destroyed your future.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Your story is well chronicled, but what is of interest to people is that you started off as…
I haven't read that book, I know, I hope she's written nice things about it.
She's written a very brilliant… Arundhati Subramaniam has written a very brilliant
No,
book.
she's brilliant, but what's she written about me?
One of the things that she has said is that you give great space for dissent. You like a good argument. That you're not one of those dictatorial gurus.
I don't know where is a dictatorial guru. I think most people have not met a guru, they've just seen calendar images and made conclusions. I don't think they've met any genuine guru. There are a whole lot of people who should have been temple priests who are good entrepreneurs and they've become gurus today. That's different, okay?
Temple priests
No, I'm
who
saying…
have become good entrepreneurs.
No, I'm saying…
It's just another way of saying they're charlatans.
That's a strong word. Maybe that's enterprise. I'm not an enterprise. So because I'm not an enterprise, I want everybody to ask whatever the damn question they have. It doesn't matter how ridiculous or how intelligent, how nonsensical it is, it doesn't matter. If the question means something to you, it means something to me. It doesn't matter how brilliant it is, if it doesn't mean anything to you, I'm not willing to listen to it.
But you're saying that many people who are positioning themselves as gurus are really only elevating themselves and fooling people. I've
I didn't say
okay,
that.
I'm saying that.
I'm saying… The thing is, there is a vacuum, somebody is trying to fill it.
Yes, and Sadhguru, you have
Are
been…
they qualified to be that? Questionable thing.
But a very genuine concern, and you have been on some of my television programs where we have spoken about this, is whether God men are often con men. And how does this lady here know the difference between who's a God man and who's a con man, and is a human being capable of being a God man? Do you think of yourself as a God man?
Why are you underestimating that lady?
Okay, let it be my question. How do I spot the difference between a God man and a con man if I don't even believe that humans can be godly? I think humans can be brave and wonderful and inspiring, but I don't think that they have magical powers.
See, did you ever see God having magical powers?
No, I've never seen God.
No, then why are you saying he must have magical powers? So first of all, this God-man is essentially a media-coined word. Nobody claims that he's a God-man, okay? Some are goddamn men, that's different. Nobody… I don't think anybody has personally claimed I'm a God-man. I have not met anybody like that. Now, that's another kind of profession, putting labels on everybody, you know. Leaving that alone, what is it? This is a culture, you must understand, this is unfortunately all mixed up today. This is a godless culture, you must understand this. There has never been an idea of a god in this culture. Only in competition with what came from outside, because we saw they could rule us, they were dominant, and we thought we have to imitate their ways, we also started making it up to some extent, not successfully though. Yes, but we know the technology of God-making. When I say technology, we're using the English word God, but that word doesn't exist in India. Here we call them devas. What a deva means is, see, today media is projecting Tendulkar as a cricketing god. It's very appropriate to this culture, because if somebody excels beyond a certain level in any field, he may be a sports person, he may be a warrior, he may be an artist, he may be anything. If he excels beyond what normally average human beings think is possible for them, he goes, they recognize him as a deva and he's worth looking up to because he becomes a guiding light for them. That'll anyway happen, whether you like it, you believe it, you don't believe it, in every field, somebody rises, he becomes the light for the rest of the people. So similarly in the inner spaces, when I say the inner spaces, the quality of your life is not determined by what kind of house you live in, what clothes you wear, what car you parked outside, what things jing-bang happening around you, no. This moment, how joyful, peaceful, blissed out you are within yourself. Now if I sit here, we are sitting here in the same space, breathing the same air, probably we ate the same kind of food. I don't know what you eat. But if I sit here now with my eyes closed, the way I am within myself, I will not exchange this for anything in the universe. Now, when people see, no matter… the number of things I'm managing is insane. Everybody thinks, Sadhguru, is it possible? You must go crazy someday. All volunteers, over 3 million volunteers, enterprises, businesses, okay, projects, mega projects on the street, all kinds of activity going on around the globe. If anybody has to go nuts, it's me, okay? Because all run by volunteers. Run by volunteers means nobody is trained for the job and you can't fire them for inefficiency because they're volunteers, all right? And anytime they come in, anytime and do great things, anytime they'll walk away, all right? And nothing should collapse. Till now, I must tell you this, as we are sitting here, this day, probably little over 300 and odd programs, engineering programs are happening in the world. Never in the last 33 years, one program has been abandoned or has failed. That takes enormous management. But Nobody will ever see me getting angry or miserable or tensed out or stressed out.
You've never lost your temper?
You want me to know? Do I look like I'm incapable of that? It's not that. It's not that I'm incapable of anger. It's just that I've never given that privilege to anybody. I have not given this privilege to anybody. They can make me happy, they can make me unhappy, they can make me angry, they can make me miserable. No, I kept these privileges to myself. So, people… you were talking about miracles or whatever, people ask me, Sadhguru, everybody in every ashram, miracles are happening. You are beating all the miracles down. If we say something happened, you make us look like fools. No miracle. I say, what, you want me to pull a pigeon out of my pocket? If I pull a pigeon…
There are
No, if
gurus who claim to do that, who have been challenged by
I'll come to
rationalists.
this. If I pull a pigeon out of my pocket, I have a shitty pocket. And you have a bird. What are you going to do with this? You come to me, I will show you the miracle. I have thousands of people who are working 7 days a week, 16 to 18 days… 18 hours every day. In the last 2, 5, 10 years, not a single moment of irritation, agitation, anger in their life. This is a miracle. This is a miracle we want to manifest. You don't want a miracle?
I agree, this is a miracle.
Yes.
And not that pigeon. Do you have a pigeon in your pocket? Okay.
I told you, I don't like a
I
shitty
know,
pocket.
If you have to utter any kind of sound without using the tongue, what are the sounds that you could utter? I want you to experiment and see. Yes, for sure you can do ooh, possible. Yes, possible. What else? Suppose you did not have a tongue. What are the sounds you can utter? You can do you can do oo, you can do Try any other sound. Someone who is unable to speak, a mute person who is unable to speak, what are the sounds that he makes? Oo, Because these three sounds do not need the use of your tongue. See, if you remove your tongue, you are able to make only three sounds, oo, You're using the tongue, placing the tongue in different positions in your palate to mix these three sounds and produce all the other sounds that you produce. If you know something about the color television, you would know there are only three basic colors. Using these three colors, you see every other possible color on the tube. Similarly, there are only three basic sounds. Using these three sounds, you are able to produce all these other sounds. The tongue is just helping you to mix these three sounds in many complex ways. Now these three sounds, oo and ma, are referred to as the basic sounds or the universal sounds. Because these three sounds are the basis of all the other sounds that you can utter. If you utter these three sounds together, what do you get? It's not oh, So these are the three basic sounds which are the very basis of all the other sounds that you can utter. So is known as the universal sound or the basic sound in the creation. If this is true, how come only a certain religion seems to be using it as a brand for themselves and nowhere else it is known? That is not true. Wherever there is a realized being,
there sound will be there. For example, Christianity, born in Jerusalem, where the language at that time was Aramaic. Aramaic language has a certain inflection where sound is dominant. So in Christianity, whatever they close with today, whatever they say, they close it with Amen. If you look at it the way it is said at the Vatican, it's always said, Amen. You take off the N and say Amen. Oh. If you want to understand this, you can see a similar inflection in Tamil. See now, for example, Ram. You know Ram, born in Ayodhya? He came down south. When he came south, when Ram entered Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, people called him Rama. Then he crossed the Tamil Nadu border, people called him Raman. If Krishna comes to Tamil Nadu, what will you do? Krishnan. If Arjun comes to Tamil Nadu, what do? Arjunan. If Bhim comes to Tamil Nadu, what do? Bhiman. Whoever enters Tamil Nadu border, they get unified. This inflection of in Tamil is much stronger than Aramaic. Amen. You take out the N, it's just Am. Today this Amen has gone to United States of America and become Amen. This is cultural and language distortions which happen. Islam, born also in the same region, under the same cultural and language influences, they are saying Ameen. Take away N and say Ameen. Oh, it's the same sound. Because wherever a human being becomes silent by his own nature, not school teacher silence, not plugging your ears silence, if you become silent by your own nature, sound will reverberate in the system because the root sound for your physical existence is sound When reverberates, it starts from just beneath the navel and ends at the tip of your nose. This reverberation will just happen by itself. So wherever a human being truly sat quietly, utter quietness within himself, he always became aware of the sound When he transmitted it, it got distorted over a period of time according to language and cultural influences. Even in India, has become Om. It is not Om. You open your mouth and say gently close your mouth, it becomes U. You close it, it becomes Sound has innumerable benefits. Even today, if anybody come here with any kind of psychological disturbances, the first prescription is always You do this for a few weeks, you settle down and then we go into other aspects. I can show you hundreds of people for whom medically it was believed that they have to be on psychiatric medication for the rest of their life, have completely walked out of the need for medication simply by uttering If you are suffering from excessive fear, distorted dreams, bad dreams, nightmares, unstable mind, unstable body. If your general constitution is weak, you tend to fall sick too often, particularly children, if they have attention disorders. Daily utterance of for a few minutes a day will make a enormous difference for you. If you have problems that you're unable to do anything with a certain resolve in your life, daily utterance of will be truly transformational for you. Within a couple of weeks, you can notice a phenomenal difference in the way you function. Because this is the basic sound in your physical existence. People whom you love are not easy. Transform yourself in such a way, being in your presence, unknowingly, their cup will turn around. As far as your spiritual process is concerned, anyway you're alone.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. I'm in a relationship with a very bitter person who is not interested in spirituality. How can I handle my relationship without losing my way on the spiritual path?
If your concern is your spiritual growth only, then if you have a demon for your partner, that's the best thing. But your partner, your husband, wife is not just about spiritual growth, you also want to have a pleasant life in the family. Then you have to choose someone whom you like, but any human being on the planet, there is something that you don't like about them, isn't it? So you use that part of it for your spiritual growth, and the rest of it you enjoy. Just as life. So if your intention is to have a good family, then some rapport is needed between two people, otherwise it won't work. Especially if you have produced children, then rapport is must, otherwise you'll foul the new life that's come up. If you create a foul atmosphere, you'll foul up the new life that is coming up. Nobody has any right to do that actually, but people are doing it. But no human being has any right. You can mess yourself up as much as you want, that's up to you. But you can't mess up a fresh life that's just come. So, if you're looking for good life, family life, then one has to find rapport and that rapport means some areas of commonality at least. But if you're looking for spiritual life, it doesn't matter what kind of person he is, you can use everything for your growth, everything for your growth, if that's all your focus is. But generally your focus is both ways, you want to have a little bit of that and a little bit of this. A mixed fare, so it gets a little complex. So, to build a rapport takes effort, takes compromise, takes love, endurance. Takes endurance, you know. Somebody is constantly like this, you want to build rapport with that person, but you don't want to go his way. That takes lots of endurance. Yes, sir? People whom you love are not easy. So what can you do? One thing is to transform yourself in such a way
being in your presence, knowingly their cup will turn around. Just yesterday, the other day I just went out in the rain, I went out and it started raining and I was carrying both my India phones because I was expecting some calls and one is India, one is Europe, one is America, 3 phones I had. One I had in my jacket, other in my trouser pockets, and by the time I got here it got wet and both the phones just burnt up. Then people around me were telling me, Sadhguru, why carry 2 phones? Now we can have 2 SIM cards in one phone. If you hold it like this, you can speak on the India SIM card. If you turn it around, it just shifts into the other SIM card. You don't have to switch anything, just this way it handles one SIM card. If you turn it around, it handles another SIM card. You have to become like this. I was very suspicious of this phone, I didn't get it, but but you must become like this. If you wish to take people who are around you with you, you want to walk alone, it's very easy. If you want to take people with you, then it takes a considerable amount of effort. When Gautama was asked this question, is it better to walk alone on the path or with a companion? He's not like me, he's dry. He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. He's not saying don't walk with anybody, he's not saying don't have companions, but he said it's better to walk alone than walk with a fool. Because they can drain you, they can take such a lot of energy and time and you don't know, they may be stronger than you and they may take you their way than you taking them your way. There's every possibility, yes? So, I won't say what Gautama said. All I am saying is, it doesn't matter how you walk, as far as your spiritual process is concerned, anyway you're alone. Nobody is with you. It's only the bodily process, the material process of life, which you can share with people. You come alone and you go alone, isn't it? Even if you have a twin brother or a twin sister, you still come alone and go alone, isn't it so? So when it comes to the spirit, anyway, you walk alone. So don't mix that up. So that part of it you handle well. The material part of it, according to your capability, to what extent you can do it, you do it. They come your way, it's wonderful. If they don't, it's all right, don't grudge them. It's just that you don't have to go that way. Maybe someday, when the doctor tells you your liver is in a bad state, he may seek divine. Yes. Have you seen people who are walking in the morning? Not everybody, there are certain type of people, these are all over 50, 55 age group people. They have become lean and they're walking briskly every day, religiously they are there. These are all people who generally had a cardiac problem. They almost died. Then their doctor told them, either you do this or you're gone. Now their walking is like a religion. Not Sunday morning, every morning. Have you seen those people? Suddenly they transform, they eat properly, they do everything properly because the fear of life and death has come. So different people need different kinds of impetus. If you're sensible, you learn by just looking. If you're not sensible, you learn by thrashing.
Life will thrash you. The material part of your life is never 100% proper, never can be, isn't it so? Is there any family which is a perfect family? Is there any relationship which is a perfect relationship? Is there any business which is a perfect business? Is there any career which is a perfect career? There is no such thing, don't seek that. Your life will become wasteful and fanciful if you seek such things. They all happen to the extent you're capable of handling them, that's all. So, you make sure the spiritual part of your life, you handle it 100% properly.
In a world full of cuts, short videos, and distractions, you chose to stay and listen until the end. That already says a lot about your willingness to look deeper. Drop your city in the comments, and if you'd like, subscribe and share this video with someone who's also not afraid to think. Thank you, a big hug to you, and see you in the next video.